Today I'm gonna build 3 more Lego monochromatic minifigure habitats. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here with the build that I did for the first time last week, my first ever monochrome habitat. This was white and I was pretty happy with the result. It turned out with a nice little winter scene. So I thought it would be a good idea to maybe try to do all the 4 seasons in 4 different colors to experiment a little bit with that. But not everything go as I planned. Here you can see a little bit of behind the scene from my members only vlog. I was trying to put together the minifigures first, and I realized that in my collection, I can barely put together minifigure of the same color. It's quite challenging, actually. The only one that I could put together by myself was the yellow one. For example, the regular green, I didn't have any ends in regular green. I couldn't finish the reddish brown, I couldn't finish blue, I couldn't finish orange. So I was already worrying that maybe the project would fail before even starting. Until I realized that I have in storage my Everyone is Awesome set, where they have monochrome minifigure. I have a toddler running around the house, so all my sets are in storage for now. Luckily, I remember I have that. So here, let's start with this one. This is actually the yellow minifigure that comes from the set, and is gonna serve as the minifigure for my, let's say, summer type of habitat. So what I decided to do, again, remember, I didn't order any additional parts here, so I'm trying to build with what I have in my collection. Yellow, not bad, is a color that I have quite a few selection of parts. So here I build a little jetty, and these slopes are supposed to represent the wave under this jetty. And here I want to build a little like store that sell like water sport items. So I'm using this macaroni piece as a sort of a railing to kind of frame the area where this store is gonna be, and underneath you can see I use some jumper to create some spacing, and the structure is not very good actually. On the back side over here, by the way, this counterplay piece has a sticker over here, so I just turn it the other way around so the sticker cannot be seen, and we keep the monochrome detail. On the back side, I have this bill where we have all these water sport items on sale. Attach that to the wall, and also here I have another fence piece to kind of frame a little bit this store. On the other side, I just have a blank wall, and I'm gonna add a little addition to this jetty going up with, again, some other types of water related details. So I think is okay, even though of course with the walls this doesn't look as bright and like summer as I wanted. Over here on top I want to add a awning, and I decided to use this big piece that I think come from some maybe school bus kind of bill. I had to do a little bit of movement over there so that I can have this connected going to the side, like, sorry about that, so they can connect it like so. There we go. And then over here I don't have the same railing as that side, I have this bigger one, so I thought this could be also something that frame it a little bit, even though I'm not too sure about this choice yet. And I also wanted to add a flag, but I didn't have any bar pieces, so the only way I found was to use these step pieces. So this is the only detail that I still find a little bit weird. It helped to frame a little bit this door. Maybe it's too much details. Maybe in this case would be better to take out some things, take out this, maybe take out the awning and put a smaller one. That could have been an option, but anyway, I went with this decision, and I decided on top to add a brick build sign of a sailboat. So we have a little bit of an illegal connection at the back, and here we have a curved piece. This is going to connect here on top so that we can kind of recognize that this is representing a water sport shop. Here we have the minifigure sipping from a cup over there, and just to finish it up, I found these both pieces, which I thought it could be a nice addition on the side. Of course, I cannot place it if the habitat is on top of a stack. So here I added a few details. So for example, we have this ring, this I think from Sonic, some kind of driving, some kind of motor at the back, some kind of steering over here. So I think this was a nice little addition. And then I found also another accessory that is this yellow camera that I thought also could be added here or inside the habitat, just to add a little bit of detail. Probably too many things. Probably I could have stripped it down a little bit, or maybe I should have created a beach scene, maybe with some lifeguard and some lifeguard tower, something like that. That could have been an option, maybe a little bit simpler. But anyway, I'm still quite happy of the result of this yellow one. Then now we want to move to the side. Way more challenging was the next one. So I didn't finish the regular green minifigure. So I decided to take the bright green minifigure from the Everyone is Awesome. I added a little cape piece just to add a little bit of details. And here I was in trouble because all the parts basically that I had in my collection in bright green are plant pieces or Super Mario parts. So I decided, even though this is supposed to be the spring set, but it doesn't really feel like spring, it's gonna be just a foresty kind of build. So I'm already going away from my initial idea. So I added all these plants at the bottom, and I wanted to create a sort of like tree house kind of thing that is on top of all this greenery. The minifigure is gonna be kind of over here, overlooking outside of this place. I also have this big Mario piece that I thought it could be an additional extension at the back. So here I added this shell piece, and this is supposed to be, again, illegal connection over there, the bed of this little tree house. Okay, now because of this spacing over here, the connection of this thing was quite challenging. So I have a very bad connection over here, kind of inset a little bit, that allow me to put this like that. So we have like an extra room going on the back, and then I can add the walls. The walls are not gonna be great. I also adding some different shades of green where they're not seen, because I was really running out of all these bright green. Even regular bricks I don't have. I only have 1x2 or this taller one. I don't have regular bricks in bright green. So I had to come up with alternative solution a little bit here and there. I also had this piece that is a broom piece, but usually I use in my mocks as some type of plant. Actually, in this case, could work well as an actual broom. Okay, so it just fit the color scheme. So I just gonna add it as a detail there, even though later it's not gonna be seen. Now, I need to cover it up a little bit. Again, this is a bit of a restriction of my parts. So I have this little build again with some Mario pieces, some extra connection at the back, a plant piece on top. It's gonna be a little bit odd looking, but it kind of works. The only thing is that it creates a little bit too much shadow to the minifigure. I try to open up the back a little bit, as well as this as a kind of big window to get a little bit of light inside, but still it should be a little bit brighter. Maybe I should have opened up the back here a little bit more, just to get a little bit more light coming in. Also, because now, to make it look like a forest, we cannot have all these blank wall that I generally don't like in the habitats where just a simple wall. I want details. So what I decided to do is create some trees, because again, I have a ton of plant pieces in bright green and not much else. So this one is gonna be connecting over here like so. So here we have this nice French leaf that I really like. And again here, I'm coming off a little bit with this piece at the bottom. And this is gonna connect like so. This could work maybe also as a sort of ladder to access the treehouse. Anyway, very difficult and very not stable habitat, but it kind of works, even though it doesn't feel much like spring. Then for the autumn, I decided to go with orange. I took the minifigure from the set, but I added a helmet, and I added some of these fins. So it's gonna be swimming actually, even though again it's gonna be swimming under the sea, so it's not gonna feel like autumn. But again, that was the color that I choose for this little experiment. Here is the base, so I raise it up a little bit because again I was short on bricks in this color, and this is gonna be the sort of seabed. On the side, I'm gonna add some kind of rocky structure. So on this side, I have these little rock pieces going up and finish there. Let's say there are maybe an island on top or something. And the same thing I'm gonna do over on this side. On the other side, again, I work with some modified, with some snock, with some modified brick to get a little bit of details coming out. Again, this is gonna be something like this. So let's assume the water go back in that area, and then going up we have some rock structure maybe leading to an island on top. I have this cape piece that I think I'm gonna just put there at the bottom as a sort of cave little thing. Maybe some fishes could come out of there, but I don't have any fish in this color again. Very limited part selection. And then I'm just gonna add some, again, plant pieces that of course works very well underwater, because that's what I have in my collection. So I'm gonna add some of these regular leaves that are going up a little bit taller to create details. I have another plant piece here with a horn, and even this smaller type of flowers works really well in this case to create some underwater scene. Over here, I'm gonna create that island that I mentioned. So I have a very simple build over here. I wanted to create a kind of palm tree. Also, illegal technique here is not gonna connect, but again, I'm using a carrot piece over there, and I'm using an air piece on top to create some sort of idea. And I'm gonna add the hermit crab, even though there is a little print there, but I thought it's too good of a part to not include this in the set. So I'm just gonna put it there. And then I have this open stud over there on which I'm gonna connect this diver swimming. So here is my selection of these three habitats. They're supposed to be the seasons. It didn't turn out as I was thinking it about, but it was anyway a nice little build together with my winter one that I think is still the most successful one. Now, I'm not gonna build all the colors. I'm gonna stop over here because I just don't have the parts in my inventory. But it was a nice, fun challenge that I recommend everybody to do. Maybe you can pick a color that you have a good amount of parts in your collection. And this was a nice, fun, and creative exercise. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.